almost summer and school is out, but districts across Indiana are working toward a deadline. Starting July 1st, every district around the country is supposed to have a policy on how to deal with school lunch debt. Sounds simple enough, right? But how districts have handled this issue up to this point has caused a lot of controversy. When kids don't have lunch money, the districts lose out. So districts nationwide are carrying thousands of dollars of debt to their food service division. And in an effort to collect that debt, a lot of school districts have resorted to tactics that critics call lunch shaming. Now, lunch shaming is nothing new. Critics say it's anything from giving an alternative meal or maybe cheese or peanut butter sandwich. It can also involve throwing away the child's food right in front of them, stamping their hand, making them clean lunch tables at the end of lunch, all of which has been documented around the country, some of it even in Indiana. It's such an issue that the state of New Mexico became the first to outlaw any form of lunch shaming this spring. And now a bipartisan group in Congress wants to ban it nationwide.
We had a cheese sandwich policy at one of the school districts in New Mexico where they just got 2 pieces of white bread and a slice of American cheese. And it was very evident to the other kids who these children were. This was the fault of their parents for not settling up their lunch debt. And really it got pushed off on the children and stigmatized them in a way that made it harder for them to learn.
So if giving a cheese sandwich is bad enough to ban in one state, why isn't it banned in Indiana? I found out the practice is more widespread than you might think.
Every child has the right to eat, and they can't learn if they don't eat.
From a small Beech Grove lunchroom at Hornet Park Elementary, Beth Skirvin speaks from the heart. For nearly 20 years, she's worked in the district's lunchrooms and now trains other cafeteria workers on how to handle its 3,100 students.
When I train the employees and the cashiers, I always tell them, be nice to that child. We're the only ones that do not expect anything from them. We're just there to feed them and show them some compassion.
Her point of view is why in 2013, the Beech Grove School District did away with a policy it believed singled out kids who didn't have money to pay for lunch. The policy involved giving an alternative meal. So if a child didn't have money on their account at checkout, part of their meal would be thrown away and they would be given an alternate meal that was otherwise not on the menu. This is what an alternative meal looks like, either just a peanut butter sandwich or a cheese sandwich. Now, the USDA doesn't require a school district to do anything for kids who didn't bring lunch money, but that's where the lunch shaming starts. The USDA governs school lunch programs and distributes this booklet for every school district in the country. It's called Overcoming the Unpaid Meal Challenge. On page 38, it includes a table of discouraged actions, including throwing a child's meal in the trash if they're unable to pay, and serving unappealing alternative meals with low nutritional value as a strategy to embarrass children with unpaid meal debts. These are just a few of the school districts in central Indiana offering an alternate meal or entree when a student is in the negative. It's a courtesy they offer, sometimes at their own expense, so kids get at least something to eat. But just last month, a bipartisan group in Congress proposed the Anti-Lunch Shaming Act of 2017. It outlaws the public identification or stigmatization of a child. None of Indiana's congressional delegation was involved in crafting the bill. So I wanted to know where Indiana's Department of Education stands on this issue.
Lunch shaming is not acceptable by any means, and it's something that we would push across the state and something we let our schools know. I mean, at no times do we want a child to feel signaled out, do we want a child to feel embarrassed by any means.
For decades, so-called lunch shaming has happened around the country as a go-to way for a school district's food service to stay in the black. It mainly affects kids whose families fall right on the bubble of the poverty guidelines, meaning they make just enough to not qualify for free and reduced lunch. These are the federal income eligibility guidelines for the upcoming 2017-2018 school year. A family of 4 making just under $32,000 would be eligible for free meals at school. That same family could earn up to $45,510 and still be eligible for reduced price meals. In Beech Grove, 68% of students qualify for free and reduced meals. 42% of all children in that district carry a negative food balance.
How much money is owed right now to food services?
Yeah, $124,000 and something. Yeah.
Before school let out for the summer, we went to Beech Grove's Hornet Park Elementary. These are actual lunch charges from kindergarten and first graders. Some are low, but in the 5 minutes we recorded video, we found charges soaring as high as $362. Keep in mind, these are only kindergarten and first grade students, and these charges stay with them their entire time in school.
What's the highest debt you've ever seen by a student with the lunch?
$1,006.
Is that current?
Yes,
What grade?
senior.
And it has to be paid before they graduate.
The debt inspired Beth Skirvin to create a program the district plans to roll out this summer, where they'll ask people in the community to make a tax-free donation to help pay down school food debt.
Why don't we ask some of these businesses, some retired teachers, and let's tell them, we've got kids that are struggling and hungry, and would you like to help us feed them?
The goal is to pay each student's debt, $1 at a time.
It's not the kids' fault. The kids need that hot lunch.
Well, there's actually a law in Indiana. It requires public schools to pursue collections of outstanding debt, and that includes using a collections agency. For Beech Grove, for example, the cutoff is $50. So at the end of the school year, the parents of any student with a debt above $50 goes to collections. If the agency is successful getting some of that money back, 97% of whatever is collected goes to the district, while the agency keeps the other 3%. It's their fee. Well, some other districts have a much lower threshold. Here's an example. Hamilton Southeastern, Franklin Township, Avon, they all turn negative accounts over that are above $20. Carmel Clay Schools waits until an account is $30 in the negative. So you see, every district is doing something just a little bit different.
It is a story that impacts so many families, and there are so many things that go into it and how it operates. So a big issue is the free and reduced meals that you're talking about. You touched on the guidelines there. One of the questions that I'm sure you came across during this is, if they do end up qualifying for that, but they still have debt, what happens with that debt?
You would want it to be paid off, right?
Right.
But it doesn't go away. It still belongs to that child. The way the federal guidelines are written is once you qualify, no longer would you have to pay for it. But what is there is there. So the family still has to figure it out, right? So either that's a payment plan for the district, either that's working with the district to try to figure out how we're actually going to take care of it, but the money is there. So the sooner someone can qualify for free and reduced lunch, the easier their life's going to be.
And still the child is the one that gets their diploma held. They're the ones who being impacted by that.
That's right.
All right. Great report, Lauren.
Thanks.
It is 6:39 now.
Still